Good day. As you can see, just said hello for audience. Today we are going to dive into Python basics and show you how to write your first Python code. So now let's just dive into it. Let's go to this. Okay. Good day, good evening, good morning to everyone who's watching this, depending on the time that you're watching this. Today is going to be the first lesson of Python. I will be taking you in for Python basics. I am Freddie Manyate. Yes. So now let's just go into it. Python is one of the most famous programming languages. You probably know this by now, and I just hope the sound is proper. We're still new into this. We're going to upgrade sound and everything at a later stage. But then now, yeah, like I said, Python is one of the most famous programming languages that you might find. So learning Python is going to help you a lot. So there's Python, Java, and everything. If you have been following, you will know that one of my colleagues, earlier on, released a video on Java, and he is going to release others on the programming language, which is called Java. But for now, I would like us to go deeper into Python. So we know that Python is mostly used for developing websites and software, task automation, data analysis, and data visualization. So for this tutorial, I'm going to start at the basics of Python, but then I want to lean more into data analysis and data visualization. So by the end of this whole course series, you will be able to analyze data using Python and also visualizing this data to make it appealing and stuff. Yes. So what we're going to be doing for today, I'm going to show you how to install Python on your machine, how to install your text editor. The text editor is an IDE of some sort that we're going to use in coding Python. Like for example, we know that for Java maybe we use our NetBeans or what. But then for now this one we're going to use Visual Studio Code. That's my preferred one, Visual Studio Code. But then you can use a lot like Notepad, Node++, PyCharm, Spider, and funny enough, there is also Word, like Microsoft Word. You can code using Microsoft Word, but it's not really recommended. But yes, and then also I'm going to tell you about the indentation. This now forms part of the syntax of Python. We're going to be showing indentation, variables, comments, data types, and also data structures. So yeah, let's go into this. So with installing Python, I'm going to also include this document in the let's say maybe I will create a GitHub repository for this. And then now I'm going to show you how to install Python on your machines. So with installing Python, you first need to go check if Python is not already installed on your machine. So we go to, let me see if it's been installed on. Okay. We go to this your CMD. Let me just show you how to get them for those who can't. Just go to your laptop and type CMD, and then you're going to see that command prompt. Click enter, and then we check for Python version. So if it tells you something like this, maybe Python with a certain number, this is the version of Python that you have on your laptop. If you don't have, it's going to tell you that you don't have Python. So if you don't have Python, you're going to go to this site. You're going to go to this site, and then you're going to download Python. Just click on this, download Python. You can just download the latest version of Python, it's fine. And then after doing this, you're going to install it and everything. And then on the installation part at the bottom, I don't want to install a new one since I have already on my side. But then on the installation page, you're going to see something like again, add to path or something. Just click that thing, add to path, and then yes, you don't really need it now, but then you're going to need it in the future. Yes. And then for this thing, so now after installing Python, you're just going to go back to your something here. Oh yes. So sorry, I got distracted a bit, but then yes. Yeah. So I was saying that after now installing Python, when you come back to your thing and then type the same thing again, it's going to show your thing, your version type. So now just writing your first hello world here, I'm just going to show you. You can just go write py, enter, and then you say maybe print hello world. So that's how you write your first hello world. So that's how you print in Python, you see. But then we're not going to write code on the terminal, we're going to write code on the text editor. So now you can just close your command prompt and then go to we go back to this. So now on this, I was still saying that installing Python yes. So now we just go to text editor to install. What's it called? To install a text editor, we are going to now say these are the text editors that I was telling you about. My top 3 text editors would go from Atom, Sublime Text, VS Code. VS Code simply because of it has a terminal on its own. So for example, with Notepad or Atom or Sublime Text, if I were to write a code and then I want to execute the code, I will need to open command prompt and run that file. But then with Python, you can just run the with VS Code. Sorry, with VS Code you can just run the code right there on the text editor. So it's better like that. So to get this, you can just go to this link. Click on this link. It's going to take you to Visual Studio Code. And don't forget to like and subscribe. That's the site. I'll also share the link. Yes. Don't forget. Excuse. So now we go to this. Download this. Windows. You download Visual Studio Code for Windows. You install this and everything. So when you're installing this, let's say, click there on my internet connection is very slow. One second. Yeah, but it's fine. And then yes, so after installing your Visual Studio Code, you're going to have something like this. So now what I'm going to request from you is that you go to open a new folder, maybe. Let's say open folder. I'm going to put it here. So I open this. So you can just put this anywhere where you want. It's not really, but preferably because it's going to be a course series. We're going to be building on whatever we learned today. So I would suggest that you open a folder, you put everything in a folder, and then you're going to work from that folder. Now setting up your Visual Studio Code so that you can read your Python and whatever. I'm going to come to this, and then I will ask that you. Oh, okay. The thing cut. I don't know why. Yeah, I was saying that to do this, then you're going to go to Python on the extensions tab here. You're going to. This is Python by Microsoft. You install this. As you can see on my side, it's already installed. You install this. I would also suggest that you install tab 9. Tab 9, install this. Then we're going to have Prettier. I'm going to explain. Okay, let me start from this. Pretty is just for formatting your code, like in terms of alignments and whatnot. That's Prettier for you. But then it usually uses it's for this because of now on this side. So yeah, you don't really need it to be. You can just skip this. It's fine. And then for tab 9 is just for auto completion. What tab 9 is for auto completion. It's going to be very assistive in completing code faster. And then with Python, this Python is just for it to be an interpreter in a way, so that it can read your Python codes. If you're creating a Python thingy, and then you're going to have this, and then you will need to. But I think after installing it already, it's going to be set up. But if it's not, well, you see, yeah, it install a supported version of Python. So we've already installed this, and then now we've installed this. This is the one, the extension, and then you can just start coding. So now we go back to this, and now we start coding. Let's just say hello world or hello.py. So you always need to say .py at the end for this text editor to know that you're actually now running Python code. Yeah. Then here, let's just write a hello world code. I'm going to say print. This is just to print out to the terminal. We say print hello world. This, and then we run. Let me just close this things. And then we run this code. So you see, when you run this, it already opens its own terminal and prints there. So this is your first hello world code in Python. Yes. And then now let's just say now okay, let me just yes. So now we're going to let's just go to comments. Let's say we want now comments. So comments are used to just write a line of text of which you don't want it to be executed by your code. So for example, let me say now I was just telling you here, here we are going to print hello world. You see, already we're having errors and stuff. If we're going to run this, it's going to tell us that we have errors. But then I don't want this part of the line to be executed. I only want this part of the line to be executed. So yeah, it means we need to comment this out. This is how we comment, just a hashtag in front. This line of code will never be run, will never be executed as case. So you see, so also if I just if I do that, and then I do another one like this, let's see, Faraday, and then I run that. You see, it doesn't run this line, but then it runs this side because of why I have commented this out. So in this course thingy, we're going to use a lot of comments because of we want to see because we want the thingy like just so that we know what to expect and what not to expect. Ne? So whenever I do something, I'm going to put comments, and also on your side, just to make notes or something, you can just use comments to make notes on your side. So now also indentation. Indentation is one thing. We know which in other programming languages, if you know other programming languages, you know which you can just have code like this. But then in Python, you cannot have code that has like empty leading spaces unless it's a certain condition. Like if you're doing conditions, if you're doing loops or something, then you might have tabs like this. But then in just normal basic syntax, you are not supposed to be having such things. Nah. Yes. And then we move to comments. No, not comments, variables. Variables are we can say variables are containers for storing data values. So variables are used to store data values. For example, we know that let's say I am 20 years old. I can just write it like that, but then in programming we need to have variables that are going to store certain data. So for example, my name is Freddie. Company name is Faraday, or not company name, channel name, or industry channel. Channel is the Faraday, and then age, I am 20 years old. You see this? So this just shows you this variable is there for a certain data value. There's a data value, there's a data value, there's a value, there's a value. So what's the difference between name and age? Name is a string, it's text. That's why it's enclosed in these quotation marks. But then numbers are not contained in quotation marks because of why we can do calculations in a way with numbers. So if you want to print, maybe let's say I want to print out my name, I can just say my name is hey man my name is, and then I come here and say name. No, like that. You see this? If I run this, it's going to say my name is Freddie. Why is this taking Freddie? Because of the value of this variable is Freddie. And with age, so let's say for numbers, let's say num1 is equals to 5, and then num2 is equals to 3. With numbers, I can say sum is also a variable. It's equals to num1 plus num2. And then I can print the value of this. I can print and then say maybe sum is sum. You see that? When I run this, state is, you see, the sum is 8 because if I can do that with numbers, I can do calculations. But then with text, if you were to try this, your laptop will explode. I'm joking. But then let me just show you. You cannot do calculations with this. It's just going to concatenate them. there's something that we call concatenation. It's going to concatenate the strings. Okay, so I just saw the sound is very bad, but I just hope that I will get something, a mic or something to fix the sound. But then for this video, I'm just going to upload it like this, so you'll forgive me. Yeah. So now what I was going to show you is remember that we said can be maybe a name, maybe y can be a number. Let's say y is a number, let's say 30. But then we can like explicitly give these things like a certain data type. So we can just say, for example, okay, let me do this first. Let me show you. Since we know that this is a string, text, and this is a number, right? So we can have things like, okay, so this is an integer in a way. So let's just have something else like a floating number. Let's say 12.5. See, this is a floating number. It's called a floating number. In simple English, it's a what's this thing? A decimal. Yes. So now I'm going to print out the data types of these things. So I'm going to say type and then say maybe X. See, if I do that, then I run, it's going to tell me that this is a string. If I say maybe Y here, if I say Y, right? If I say Y, it's an integer. And then if I say A is a float. Do you see that? It's not because of I put these things here or something. It's just the data types of these data values, these values. You see that? So I can assign this, for example, this, I can just say this is a float. Anyway, I can just do this float, and then when I run this, right? You see, this is a float, even though it's an integer. Why? Because if I give it a certain value, a certain data type, I give it as a data type. So we can do that. But then for this one, you cannot come and say this is an integer, because this can never be an integer. You see. So let's run this and then let's see X. You see, it's not because of Y. Even if we say it's an integer, but then the inside, this is not integer, that's Y. But then we know that a whole number can also be, because it's a true number, it's a natural number in a way, can be a decimal. So that's also part of it, of what we're going to be doing. I'm going to cut the session short because of the sound problems that I'm having. So I will continue after buying a mic. And I'm broke after buying a mic. Yes, so let me just cut it here. What did you say? Cover. It said variables, comments, indentation. So also data types. So data structures are going to have lists, tuples, dictionaries, what else? Arrays and stuff. So I'm going to be doing those at a later stage when I have solved the problems, the mic problems. Please bear with me since this is a new site, new channel, yes. But we're going to solve our problems, don't worry.